Sigma INFJs frequently go unnoticed in a room or are the stealthy rival that everyone underestimates until they suddenly stand up and show their hidden talents. They have the ability to quickly rule a group. Here are 10 techniques the Sigma INFJ might use to gain more respect from others without having to beg. 10. They are able to settle disputes without becoming angry or harming people's feelings. Sigma INFJs are respected by their peers, family, subordinates, and even complete strangers for their ability to handle conflict with dignity and poise. These self-aware, self-reflective, and logical people are able to express their opinions without being defensive. Individuals are able to express their thoughts, presumptions, and opinions without disparaging others. Sigma INFJs have mastered dominating talks and debates without upsetting anyone or speaking too loudly or haughtily. They can also present their arguments, provide alternatives, and attempt to resolve disputes without interrupting others. If the dispute appears to have no chance of resolution and becomes more illogical and meaningless, before engaging again, they'd prefer to withdraw and wait for the situation to calm down. In doing so, they would endeavor to maintain as much objectivity and reason as possible. How do you handle illogical arguments as a Sigma INFJ? 9. They continue to be impartial and open-minded. It is simple for the Sigma INFJ to remain open-minded regardless of whether the provided beliefs are contrary to their own because they are not in denial of the flaws in their judgment and perspective. They have an unbiased perspective on people and circumstances because they are aware that people by nature have a predisposition to speak and act in ways that are biased and preconceived. Additionally, they try their best to take the appropriate actions to determine for themselves whether or not they actually perceive things objectively, since they feel responsible for their deepest thoughts and subconscious motivations. If not, they should reflect and think more deeply. If so, they are prepared to listen to other people's perspectives. 8. They value themselves most of all. Unfortunately, some people can't even respect themselves while demanding respect from others. Despite how harsh it may sound, people can't always be depressed, denying themselves the psychological necessities they require. Not caring for their spiritual well-being while expecting others to look up to them as role models. The worst part is that they have the guts to blame others for their lack of respect and recognition when they have never valued themselves in the first place. Sigma INFJs, however, are unfamiliar with that. They are aware of the fundamentals of acquiring respect without force, which starts with appreciating oneself. They put self-care first, develop their abilities, their work ethic, and their self-awareness. In doing so, they can win others around and establish themselves as admirable role models. They are all responsible for this on their own accord. What guidance can a Sigma INFJ offer those who don't value themselves? 7. They are skilled leaders. Sigma INFJs could come across as cold and uninterested in other people's affairs. People are unaware that a powerful revolutionist and leader is hiding beneath their placid personas. And once their hidden qualities awaken, people will respect them without them even having to ask. The reason Sigma INFJs take the lead is because other people let them. As a result of their humility, accountability, and dependability, they have a natural supremacy. Their revolutionary discoveries can shock the world in an instant, despite the fact that they may initially appear to be the class loner or the black sheep. When it comes to the Sigma INFJ, there's no room for underestimating them because their reputation can go from being inferior to great in an instant. 6. Peer pressure doesn't affect them. Sigma INFJs are aware that if all they care about is what other people think of them, it is simple for them to fit in, speak up, and adhere to their social circle. However, since fitting in and following the rules are not on their list of priorities, they cannot do so. There is a particular dynamic in a group that causes some people to act in ways they later might regret. But these individuals also unwittingly admire those who differ from them. Nonconformists are admired and idolized by conformists, similar to how the below average looks up to the average. These people admire others who stand out and go against the grain, but they find it difficult to do so themselves. And because strong INFJs may bravely undertake things that other people find difficult, such swim against the current and resist peer pressure, people can admire them for their courage. They don't have any issues with who they are and see themselves as the ones who make the decisions in their lives. and not someone who is under the influence of popular movements. However, have you ever felt inclined as a Sigma INFJ to go along to avoid conflict? 5. They don't force their beliefs on other people. While it's wonderful to be passionate and proud of what you do, most INFJs are aware that everyone has their own set of passions, principles, and beliefs. They are aware that not everyone perceives events the same way they do. Whether it is related to their views, educational standards, societal expectations, religious beliefs, or culture. People should be spoken to as though they were being sold to. Despite their want to inspire, they don't try to impose their ideals on others. They also wish to value each person's particular viewpoint. People value their uniqueness as a result. If Sigma INFJs also didn't use their persuasive abilities to sway people's mindsets, it is most probable that people will respect their values. 4. They welcome critique. Even the most talented and self-assured individuals have difficulty receiving criticism, especially when they have invested all into their passions and worked hard at them. But Sigma INFJs don't give a damn. They train themselves to accept criticism as a tool to improve, and things start to go their way from there. They continue to take criticism with open arms and develop, progress, and evolve into the finest versions of themselves. This is also why it's not an issue for people to treat them with the respect they merit. They look up to the Sigma because of their wisdom, humility, and openness, even if they are the person in the room with the greatest credentials already. Have you, as a Sigma INFJ, encountered criticism before developing self-awareness? 3. They understand the distinction between assertiveness and aggression. The fine line between being aggressive and assertive, arrogant and confident, is something that many INFJs have perfected. When someone attempts to talk them into anything, assertiveness suggests they are to push over. They manage disagreements with professionalism and express their thoughts, which is why they evaluate how their decisions affect other people's life, and then leave things alone. However, when someone is aggressive, they mask their anxieties and inadequacies by being domineering. People that are aggressive increase their voice and even physically intimidate others to diminish them in their presence. Moreover, Sigma INFJs are far from being aggressive and egotistical, particularly from individuals who value sincerity and ethical leadership. They can win over respect quickly. 2. They don't hesitate to display their frailties. Despite the fact that it appears illogical to expect people to view them as strong leaders, while also revealing their frailties. In many respects, this makes sense. People might claim that Sigma INFJs are indeed strong, comfortable, and confident with who they are if they demonstrate that they have no problem revealing their weaknesses and challenges along their journey. People will gain perspective in a route by seeing that the Sigma isn't chaste. Instead, they suffered but still accomplished. And it inspires and gives hope to their followers about the future. However, as a Sigma INFJ, have you ever considered hiding your weaknesses to prevent others from taking advantage of you? 1. They contemplate their concerns before taking action. Anyone who considers their comments before making them will be admired. Anyone would respect someone who is in charge of the words that come out of their mouth and the thoughts that they have. Before taking action, Sigma INFJs think over their problems. They don't just scream or moan about it if they are unhappy with their relationship, profession, or life in general. Instead, they talk to their significant other, seek counseling, reflect, and come up with useful ways to deal with their situation. They can then demonstrate to everyone around them that they truly have complete control over their lives and are independent of others' approval and support. Because they naturally exhibit the traits of a leader and a respected person in general, Sigma INFJs can easily elicit respect from others. What other characteristics do you have as an INFJ Sigma that make others appreciate you more? But how do you handle those that are disrespectful?